Welcome to your Tech News Today, the Monday through Friday podcast about keeping you informed and empowered by giving you the latest tech stories that impact your daily life. We'll get started in a moment. First, we'd like to recognize our partners who help make these podcasts possible. It's Wednesday, December 12th. I'm Mike James. Coming up in a bit, a major data leak is forcing a social media site to shut down. Plus, Facebook really wants to know where you're going, and scammers are targeting grandparents. All that today on Tech News Today. All right, we start with a social networking service going away sooner than expected. You, of course, remember Google+. It was Google's attempt at competing with social media sites like Facebook. And if you haven't heard of it, that'll give you some indication of how successful they actually were. Google Plus launched in 2011 by invitation only, and people couldn't sign up fast enough. And you fast forward to 2015, and the writing was already on the wall. People weren't really interested in the service, so Google started phasing it out. And a couple of months ago, a security flaw was found that had been exposing member information for years. About 500,000 people were impacted. That's when Google announced it would officially end Google Plus in August of 2019. But the problems persisted. Another bug was found this week, and it's much worse than the last one. More information was exposed, but this time it impacted tens of millions of people, over 52 million to be exact. The bug was inadvertently part of a software update from November. For about a week, people with Google Plus had their names, email addresses, occupations, and age exposed. Now, Google has decided to move up the end date for Google Plus to April of 2019. Guess they can't get rid of it fast enough. If you still have a Google Plus account, we have the quick and easy steps on how to shut it down. Just go to Komando.com and do a search for Google Plus to shut down soon. You'll see more details about this data leak and, of course, step-by-step instructions on how to get out of Google Plus. I'm sure you know by now that pretty much every move you make online is being tracked. It's no secret that companies like Google and Facebook do this, but why do they do this? Well, they say it's to provide you with better-suited target ads. It's bad enough knowing that we're being watched all the time, but what if a company could predict where you're going in the future? Well, don't look now, but BuzzFeed discovered a patent filed by Facebook called Offline Trajectories. It describes a technology that can predict where you're physically headed based partly on previously logged data. It also is going to incorporate your friends' location data to make predictions. For example, if your daily routine includes a trip to the gym after leaving work, Facebook will know about it. Facebook says this information will help them gauge if you're headed to an area with no data connectivity, and that way, it can preload content to your news feed and ads ahead of time, which is creepy, to say the least, and definitely their way of knowing more about you so they can sell more of your information and grow their business. So what do you get out of the deal? More Facebook content and more targeted advertising. Thanks, but no thanks, Facebook. Just ahead, scammers are targeting your grandparents in a sneaky way. Right now, let me tell you about our partners at Quip. I love when I see technology used in a way that not only improves your life, but it also improves your health. I'm talking about Quip, the electric toothbrush. It's not just an old electric toothbrush. This was created by dentists and designers, the pros that understand sometimes you need to add technology to improve your product. I love brushing my teeth with Quip. It gently pulses, so if you have sensitive gums, it's the perfect toothbrush. And I feel like I've given my teeth a deep cleaning, and that's something you don't get with a manual toothbrush. Quip Electric Toothbrush is the perfect gift for anyone, and it may look like a big-ticket item, but it starts at just $25, and if you go to getquip.com/Kim right now, you get your first refill pack for free with a Quip Electric Toothbrush. But you don't have to tell your giftee that. That's your first refill pack free at getquip.com, getquip.com/Kim. Hey, if you haven't yet heard about the grandparent scam, it's another nasty way for criminals to rip off senior citizens. And here's how it works. Call an elderly person, typically over 70 years old, pretending to be their grandchild, and they claim to be in a serious mess. either in jail or some kind of legal trouble. They say the only way out is for the senior to send them money. In the past, these criminals would ask for wire payments, gift cards, or prepaid credit cards. But here's a new twist. The crooks are now asking them to send cash through mail, and it's an unbelievably successful hoax. The FTC said that over the last year, a quarter of all seniors who reported losing money through a grandparent scam ended up sending cash. Losses during that time? Oh boy, $41 million. It's a huge increase compared to the previous year, which had reported losses of about $26 million. Now, one reason these scams are more successful than ever is because of social media. Crooks are able to find out personal details of both seniors and their grandkids through sites like Facebook, and then they have a few personal details added to their story and makes the caller seem more legitimate. That's why it's not a great idea to share too much personal information on social media. If your details are public, someone can use them to defraud you. Also, the FTC said if you receive a call like this, take your time, don't act right away, call your family member back on a phone number that you know is theirs, and of course you want to share these kinds of scams with the older folks in your family so they don't get taken advantage of. Well, Alexa has a new skill. Alexa is considered the best and most popular smart speaker. It can control smart appliances, play your favorite music on command, give you weather and traffic updates, and soon you'll be able to set reminders that are tied to a specific location. Once the feature is enabled, you can say things like, Alexa, remind me to turn on the dishwasher when I get home, or Alexa, remind me to put the pizza in the oven when I get home. Then Alexa, of course, will give you a reminder when you get home. In case you're not near the Alexa speaker, it'll actually send the reminder to your Alexa app. You can also set up location-based routines, which are sets of several commands that you can trigger with a specific phrase. For example, you will say, Alexa, good night, and then it would turn off the lights and TV, tell you good night, and start playing white noise to help you get to sleep. And with the new location-based routine feature, you can set up routines that begin when you leave or arrive at home or work. You could have Alexa turn on the lights and start playing music when you're still a block away from the house. Plus, if you have a regular dinner time of like 6 p.m., set up a routine and Alexa will announce it's dinner time on Alexa devices in the home at that time. It's a great way to gather family for dinner. The new features started rolling out this week and will be available for everyone in the United States in the next couple of weeks. Really amazing where we are going so fast with technology. All right, Fortnite is one of the world's most popular video games. It was released about a year and a half ago and has already been played by over 200 million people worldwide. As most computer games are by design, Fortnite is addicting, so much so that parents are worried about how the game is affecting their kids. Apparently, the kids are losing sleep at night by staying up late to play, which is causing a huge drop in their grades and an overall loss of normalcy in their lives. Some play for up to 12 hours a day. Things have gotten so bad that some parents are forcing their kids to go to rehab to kick the habit of Fortnite. One parent told Bloomberg this game is like heroin. Once you're hooked, it's hard to get unhooked. Well, be careful when allowing kids to use any kind of game. You should certainly consider setting time limits. We just passed a digital milestone relating to how we get our news. That is coming up next. Right now, a quick word from our friends who help make this podcast possible. The days of reading the daily newspaper are almost gone for almost everybody. Many newspapers, of course, are out of business. These days, more and more people are finding their news online. Pew Research released a study this week that showed for the first time ever, more Americans get their news from social media sites than from print newspapers. 20% of U.S. adults that took part in the survey say they often get news from social media. Only 16% said they often turn to newspapers. Last year, those numbers were about equal. And there's a new malware attack to warn you about. This Trojan malware is called Speedworm, and it's targeting telecommunications, information technology companies, and government organizations around the world. Researchers at Symantec found the malware and said it comes from a cyber espionage group that's behind some recent cyber attacks. The malware is used to steal information from targeted organizations, most of which are located in the Middle East, but the attacks are now spreading to the United States. The hacking operation, also known as Muddy Water, has been more active over the last couple of months. At least 130 victims across 30 organizations have been found since September. The crooks are stealing passwords along with internal communications within a target organization. The main way this malware is being delivered is with spear phishing attacks. This is when scammers send fake emails pretending to be from trusted members of an organization in order to trick someone into revealing confidential information. The best way to avoid falling victim to these kinds of attacks is to be cautious with all unsolicited messages. If you get an email that seems to be suspicious, just don't click. By the way, once you're done listening to our podcast, tell your friends about us and give us a good 5-star review wherever you're listening. We appreciate that. It helps more people find us. Finally, for today's Commando Kicker, a small town in Italy may be the last place you'd expect to find people speeding, but citizens of the village had been constantly complaining about speeders forever, so finally, officials installed test cameras, and they did catch tons of speeders. Over a 2-week period, listen to this, they caught almost 60,000 offenders. In one example, in a 30-mile-per-hour zone, a driver would speed every few minutes, with the worst offenders zooming through the middle of the day. Sounds like Phoenix, Arizona. The fastest was clocked at 84 miles per hour. Searchers say the speeding is probably due to the state highway that runs through the town, as it is one of 3 main routes connecting the region to Italy's northern coast. And that highway has the fewest speed bumps and tolls. Well, the good news here is they now have enough money in their coffers to put some tolls and speed bumps on those highways to slow people down. For more fun and interesting facts, go to Komando.com and search for the Commando Kicker. And that's your tech news today. Thanks for listening, and don't miss our other podcasts, including the Golden Age of Radio. And this week, our most recent Golden Age podcast comes from April 3rd of 1948, and The Life of Riley, called Staying Out Late. You'll love these old-time radio podcasts. They're great stories and great actors. Check it out at podnet.com or on your favorite podcast player by searching The Golden Age of Radio. Hey, thanks for listening, and we'll see you tomorrow.